Hi guys, today we're going to talk about in more detail what I mentioned this morning. Mr. Sezenji, aka Mr. Laugh, actually reminded me that one of the things in the French Revolution had to do with the shortage of wheat as well. Well, that's true, but the shortage of wheat was a problem, but it wasn't just the shortage of wheat. Okay, everybody likes to think it's the shortage of wheat, but also it's caused by an apathetic government. So today we're going to break this bcast into 3 parts. Unfortunately, I don't have the phone right now. Get the damn phone so you can read the article. Okay, get the phone and then we can start. Okay, good idea. All right. Okay, that should do it. Hello, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. In today's bcast, we're going to cover a couple of things. And we're going to try to keep it organized from the most important to the least important. The first of which is about the food stamp issue. Government shutdown, U.S. Department of Agriculture, and we're going to more specifically compare it with the French Revolution. I know that some of you may not give a damn about history, but this is important. So let me make sure to get the news article up. I shared this in a couple places, and so let's get to the biggest issue here. Let's see. Selfie wrist. Oh, that's another topic. We can cover that. But here we go. This is. Make sure you get this. That's my article. December 22nd, 2018, and of course today. Okay, so Alex Jones pointed this out, and along with a few other media sites as well, so he's not the only one. And what it's about is, as you know, the government is currently in shutdown. And here it is. Make sure you get the right one here. Here we go. This comes from InfoWars. And I know some of you InfoWars people probably may or may not have read this, so I'll read you the headlines. Food stamp money will run out by the end of January if the government is shut down lasts that long. If the government shutdown stretches into February, there won't be money for food stamps. By Michael Snyder, December 27, 2018. According to the Department of Agriculture, if the government shutdown stretches into February, there won't be money for food stamps. And it certainly looks like this shutdown could last for quite a while because President Trump is not backing down on his demand for border wall funding, and the Democrats have pledged not to give him a single penny. So a few weeks from now, approximately 38 million people could be suddenly cut off from the food stamp program. If that scenario were to unfold, there's no telling what could happen after a few days. Government workers are already freaking out about having their paychecks delayed. If people are getting this restless already, what will things look like when tens of millions of Americans are suddenly cut off from their primary source of food money? Cut off. You mean furloughed. Basically, that's exactly what would happen. if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Okay, you're saying is if you get food stamps, right, and you are technically means test, and you still have a valid reason to get them, they're not going to cut you off. You're going to be furloughed. In other words, your benefits would be delayed if that happens. But what is seriously concerned is if 38 million people all of a sudden end up going hungry, that's not going to be something what I call very positive feeling. A lot of people in this country are the ones in the food stamp program. Bring them into two categories. Those that can do some work to make up the difference, and those that, because of their handicaps, cannot. Now, if you're in the first group, your choice is pretty simple. You get out there and you make an effort to find something you can do to offset the loss, which, according to the new means testing for the food stamp program, for able-bodied people, that is actually a requirement anyway. In many states, is that you have to earn at least 20 hours of work a week to keep your food stamps. I mean, let's put it this way. 20 hours a week in Connecticut. Let's just say 10 hours an hour. That's $200 a month. I mean, that's $200 a week. Times then they say 4.3, but let's just make the math easy. Let's say 4. That's $800 a month. $800 a month. And then you can get your food stamps as well. Especially important if you've got families with children and all that. But this goes on. Even though the government has been shut down, the Department of Agriculture still has some existing financial resources at their disposal. And they are assuring us that most enrolled in the food stamp programs will still receive the benefits for January. The following comes from CNN. Everybody asks me if I ever read CNN. I don't actually watch them directly. But here they are. Quote, eligible households will still receive monthly SNAP benefits for January, but other domestic nutrition assistance programs, such as Community Supplemental Food Program, WIC, and the Food Distribution Program on Indian reservations, will not be operational based on available resources. Additional federal funds and commodities will not be provided during the shutdown. Child nutrition, including school lunch, school breakfast, child and adult care feeding, summer food service, and special knuckle continues through February. I never heard of half of these programs. I do know the school lunch, I do know about the school breakfast, but I never heard of, adult care feeding, summer food services. Okay, that's probably for when the kids are not in school. And special milk, I have no idea what that is. The mainstream media is blaming the shutdown entirely on President Trump, and it's given the Democrats tremendous amounts of leverage. The longer the shutdown lasts, the more painful it will become for ordinary Americans. And once the food stamp funds run out, the pressure on Donald Trump to surrender will be immense. Now, let's talk about the government employees that are already facing. Wow, okay. And things are already changing. At this point, approximately 95% of all federal workers involved with the food stamp program have been furloughed. Quote, as the government shutdown drags on into its 5th day, nearly all employees of the office overseeing federal food stamps have been cut. As of Wednesday morning, the remaining staff dwindled down to a mere 5%. In other words, 95% of the employees are not there. We have never seen the food stamp benefit cut off nationwide before, so we actually don't have any frame of reference to what could happen. Could we see this type of civil unrest in writing that we warned about in the beginning of the end? When people are hungry, they get desperate pretty quickly. And history has shown that when people don't know where their next meal is going to come from, that they can get quite violent. Correct. And I mentioned about what happened in the French Revolution, and there's a reason I brought up the French Revolution. But even the government employees are suffering. I want to point this out here. Where is he here? Okay. A Department of Transportation worker in Missouri picked up a cashier shift at Barnes & Noble. A paralegal for the Justice Department in Texas stopped using her gas-guzzling pickup truck and pulled her motorcycle out of storage. An air traffic controller in California is avoiding any purchases that are not vital. Yeah, the people were having to make changes because they were just concerned that their food money, because of the furlough, isn't going to be there. Okay, so let's talk about that. What happened in the French Revolution? Well, actually, there was a couple things. Now, as Mr. Cizingi, or a.k.a. Mr. Left, pointed out, part of it was wheat, or the shortage of wheat. Now, one of the things was the potato had just been introduced into France, and the potato wasn't very well liked in France, and, well, that was the choice. The problem was the king had his lion's share of wheat. Oh, yeah, he had his bread, he had his pastries, yet the average person didn't have access to resources. Besides the fact that the government in France, Louis XVI, the States General, was apathetic to the people, especially in Paris. They had plenty of reason to get pissed off at the king. And so it was not too hard to understand how the French Revolution started out originally as an uprising against the king's policies. But when you had hungry masses on top of that, it just gave them more of an impetus to basically riot against the king and the queen of France. Well, when you see what our government is doing, again, you see the repeating of the apathy of the government towards the average day American citizen. These men and women of the government, especially in Congress, can actually basically vote themselves a pay raise. In the state of Ohio, that's exactly what the people did. The state legislature voted themselves a pay raise. Our federal government does the same thing all the time. These people receive so much money that by the time you really look at how much they're getting, it's way out of reality, even for the average. A CEO doesn't make quite as much as these guys. I'm not saying CEOs are poor, they're not, they're rich, but I mean like Zuckerberg and all them are well fed, tell you that. But these congressional men and women and the senators are doing just as good for basically less amount of work than Zuckerberg is doing and Elon Musk and a few other guys. But the point here is that this 38 million hungry people could be what it takes to set off the powder keg of revolt. Because people are like, they don't like the fact that the American people are being held as hostage by senators that can't even agree to work halfway with the budget. It's not really Donald Trump's fault, specifically. It's Chuck Schumer's. Chuck Schumer has said outright, I am not going to give you your wall. I am not going to vote for your wall. I'm not going to even have my party even vote for your wall. So basically, you're on your own, kid. Okay? Meaning that is why we still have this situation. And the problem is, Donald Trump needs 10 Democrats to go on with the Republicans to vote for the budget. Now, here's where it gets ugly. Because after New Year's, all the Republicans that are leaving the House of Representatives are being replaced by Democrats. Those people are probably going to be working with Nancy Pelosi, and they're going to do everything they can to not only try to find a way to impeach Donald Trump, which is not unlikely, but are certainly not going to support Donald Trump's budget. Because now what's going to happen is, if they do pass something on the Senate, it's going to go back to the House to be voted on again. If this thing lasts until, say, January, after all the Democrats are sworn in and all the existing Republicans are sworn out, guess what? That means less likely that there's going to be a consensus, because the original Republicans that agreed on the budget, well, guess what? They're going away. The ones that are going to be there are still there, but the ones that are been voted out, they're leaving. Which means the Republican majority in the House is going to be gone. Okay? Now you see what I'm getting at here. So the majority of the House is going to be gone. So that means that, we have a problem. So it's going to get uglier and uglier and uglier. But here's the scariest thing. I don't think the situation is going to be resolved in the near future. And if it doesn't get resolved before February, woe and behold, I'm got a feeling that shots are going to be fired. As the lower income classes are going to be extremely angry, extremely hungry. And just as what happened in France with the storming of the Bastille, you're going to see the storming of the warehouses of the federal government's Department of Agriculture, as people are going to riot and take the food that they think the government is withholding from them. And the state of Connecticut can't do anything about it because the state of Connecticut's bleeding red right now. So states either have two choices. A, they're going to have to create an emergency program to make sure that people have food. I don't know how well that's going to work. Connecticut, there's not enough money to do this. And in other states that may be better off, I don't know how, if they can afford to support statewide programs for very long either. It depends on a lot of things. Those people who are able-bodied and can go to work, there may be work available to you, but the question is it going to be enough? I can't say. Okay. Now, the next topic we're going to talk about is, what is the future for 2019 on this channel? Well, the thing is with this channel's changed a lot over the years. We went from being a news channel, doing vlogs and bcasts, to doing mostly live streams and vlogs. Rusty, come here, kitty cat. Nah, doesn't want to talk to me, Grace. So, unfortunately, the problem is that because of that changes, there's been a lot of demographics and a lot of number changes that are going to be affecting the channel. And one of the things is trying to find a way to find the best way to reach you and best content. And that's not going to be easy to do, but I'm going to keep trying. Which brings up one thing when you're doing with these vlogs and bcasts is, of course, is I can speak to you and you can watch the video and you can hopefully you'll be able to come out of this with some information. But I found a mention about viewer retention. I want to explain this because this is the last part. this is a statistical fact based on the number of minutes of content of a viewer watching videos. My viewer retention has been going up, which is good. Okay, but what is it? Oh, well, basically it's how long you watch the video for. Okay? So let's just say, simple example, let's say you have, okay, I'm going to just pick a nice even number. I don't really have this few watching most videos, but I'm going to pick a number that's easily mathematically calculable. Let's say I have a video with 10 people watching it. And let's say the 10 people watching it, it's based on the average. So you take the total of all the 10 people's number of minutes watched and you divide by 10, and that's going to give you an arithmetic mean. This arithmetic mean will tell you how many hours, minutes, and seconds of viewing time. Now, for a while, we were down to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, we were down to 3 minutes at one point, which meant that everything had to be really short because in order to get you to watch the whole content, I had to make sure the video was within the viewer's retention time. Okay? It doesn't mean that the person has lower viewer retention, but it means that how much time you're willing to watch the video. It's based on the arithmetic calculation. Okay? So, now right now, I got a feeling that the video here is going to probably have a little bit higher retention, but is it going to be beyond 9 minutes and 38 seconds or 9 minutes and 28 seconds? I don't know, but I got a feeling the first story, of course, which was certainly the most important, it's been covered first. So that will probably be watched most, and then the second part of the video explaining about the viewer retention is probably not going to be as many people watching it. That's just the way it works. But hey, it's important to keep in mind that as I cover content, I'm going to try to get the things that are most important to you out there into the public eye. Okay? And what I need you to do, I need you to do something really simple. And that is, I need you to help share these videos with your friends and family. And let them know that I'm covering content that hopefully is going to be of use to them. And lastly, for 2019, we're going to be expanding our programming to cover more news. And I definitely still would like to get some more bcasts back into the show, into the mix. Because the live streams are fine, but they can be so haphazard sometimes where people can't really understand what's going on because the phone's always ringing and I start a thought and then I have to chop the thought like a hot tomato or a potato, and then of course that means that you have no clue what I was thinking because my things have to jump from one thought to another. Where like with these bcasts and the vlogs as well, more or less definitely with the bcasts, the vlogs I tend to be a little more jumpy because of time constraint. It is important for me to realize I need to finish my thoughts. So the bcasts are great because I get a chance to finish my thoughts, and of course you get a chance to hear me organize things and explain things in a systematic fashion. But for right now, I want to thank you all for watching this. But before I go, let me remind some of you, because some of you may not have known that we have changed our schedule. Here we go, in chronological order, starting as of Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Friday, and Saturday, our show started at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. UK time. On Wednesday, and only Wednesday, our show is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, midnight UK Irish time. The Cringe Report is at this point is running around 9 p.m.-ish. I didn't say exactly because R11 says that the Sunday is very difficult for him. But he doesn't know if it's going to stay at 9 p.m. or if he might choose another day for the cringe report. So he said he'll let me know with the cringe report. Also, for those of you who are interested to know about the Seth Stewart show, he is working on trying to find a consistent time in the month of February to have 2 days or 2 shows in the month of February. I don't know what his schedule is. I was going to be on one of the shows. I think he said on February 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll have to see how that goes if I'm going to be on this Seth Stewart show. He's a teenager, but the thing is that he's trying to bridge out into doing the same kind of program I do. Let me give you a real quick piece of advice, Seth. It's going to be a real challenge for you to master everything, but please don't stop. Don't give up, because once you reach a certain point, once you get to a certain familiarity with your equipment and how to make the best with what you got, you could probably go far. Right now you're still new, so you only had 9 shows, so keep working on it, okay? And that's my piece of advice. I've been doing these shows now for about 2 years, and I remember the first shows were not that much better than yours, so don't be afraid. But that's just a piece of advice actually for anybody. If you're going to be starting YouTube, don't expect that you're going to be up there in high-tech, high-professional stuff, especially if you're, say, on a shoestring. You gotta work your way up. It takes time, and that's important to remember. So for the rest of the time being now, guys, I want to thank you for watching this. I will see you on Friday. It's tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 7 p.m. UK Irish time. And yes, we will be doing the phone calls, of course. And I will let you know what the story is with the government shutdown thing. And are we ever going to cover the so-called Democrats' Green New Deal? Yes, but I didn't think it was as important to cover that in this show as the food stamp thing. But we certainly will cover that probably on a live stream. We'll cover that about the so-called Democrats' new Green Deal and the problems with it. But for now, I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.